All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to get started. We're actually talking about first line support, and this is the second in this series. Today, we're going to look at first line support for solid edge help. For our agenda today, we're going to briefly talk about who we are, how Geo can help you, and then we're going to dive into our subject, which is questions that our customers have had about solid edge. Specifically, how can we use synchronous technology to improve our design time? And then a couple of interesting ones. How can we make text bigger on our prints? And lastly, is there a fast way to move parts into an assembly? Just as a note, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them, and then we'll do our best to answer them during the webinar. Our presenter today is Jeff Bupp. He typed his name as Jeffrey, but we call him Jeff, and he's going to be presenting on the topic of solid edge. Jeff, how are you doing?
Good, Dan. How are you doing today?
Doing well. I'm looking forward to your webinar. This is going to be nice. Now, just briefly about the company that we work for. We work for Geometric Solutions, which is part of the Waltonen family of companies. Now, at Geometric Solutions, we sell Siemens software solutions. At Waltonen Engineering, we have hundreds of engineers and designers. They're using that software. And then we have Independence Tooling. Well, at that location, we're actually able to build the things that we design. So you could say from A to Z, we've got it covered. The owner of our company, he put it best. Our ability to successfully partner with our customers comes from our experience in using the tools we sell every day. So we're not just selling these tools, no, we're actually using them and using them successfully. So just to start, what is first line support? Well, for Geometric Solutions, we have a bunch of customers. And these customers, sometimes they'll have a technical question about Solid Edge or NX or one of the Technomatics products. Well, who do they go to? Well, they come to us. We are their first line of support. So the question might be, why are we doing a webinar series on the best of first line support? Well, if someone else has a question, likely you've got that same question. Or maybe it's the opposite. If you have a question, someone else does too. So we've gone through and looked at questions that our customers have asked us, and now we're going to put this out there for everybody. Let's go ahead and get started with our first question. So Jeff, one of the big questions that we get asked about Solid Edge all the time is synchronous technology. Is it just a buzzword, or can it actually help us to improve our design time? Can you answer that question for us?
Sure, Dan. It absolutely can help you improve your design time, and just a quick show of how we can do that. Oops. Is for this part, for example. Now this is currently in an order part, and if we wanted to go in and make a change on this part, like for example, increasing the width of this gap here, the first thing we'd have to do is figure out, well, what is the driving force behind that dimension? And as I click through here to find, I have to keep going through every one till I find the actual definition of that part. And then when I do that, I can actually, then I can come in here, oops.
So you're going to go into that sketch profile and then edit that. That's how
Yeah.
you do it in the ordered manner?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
There we go. Okay, and if I wanted to edit that gap there, which is currently set at 1.88, I would have to go in and change that. So if I wanted to add 2 millimeters to that, to 3.88 millimeters, I would have to go in and do that and then close the sketch. Finish. And that didn't work.
That's the beauty of doing these webinars live.
Yeah. Oh, that's because this is a good point. I was going to the wrong profile. Okay, so if I wanted to change that gap to 3.88 and then finish, and you can see an easy mistake to make. I kept going to the wrong protrusion there, and obviously wasn't updating because I wasn't updating the right definition. Anyway, once I got to the right definition, I can go in and add that dimension in there and get this. But one of the things that I know happened here because of the way that this was designed, and you may not catch this if this is somebody else's part that you're trying to modify, is you'll see that these two brackets here that hold the release tab for this, they also moved. Now, if that wasn't part of your design intent, then you have to go back into this protrusion and change that to 22 to move it back into the correct spot. Now, this is where synchronous technology really comes in and shows us its benefits. So if we move all of these down into a synchronous, and if I wanted to edit that gap using synchronous technology, I could click on this surface, and then with my arrow here, with my handle, my steering wheel, I can drag that up and put in an increase in 2 millimeters. And you can see that that didn't mess with our positioning on our brackets.
Well,
So
that was a lot. Hey, before you go, leave that part.
Yeah.
So that was a lot easier then.
Yeah, it is. And that's what synchronous technology really does. It helps speed up the process of modifying parts. You know, and I went through this a few times trying to get it right, and I still messed up and went to the wrong protrusion, as you guys saw. So, I mean, it definitely helps eliminate mistakes when you're trying to modify parts.
Yeah, that was actually a great example. I'm not sure you didn't do that on purpose, though, Jeff. So let me
I
ask you another question then. When it
mhm,
comes to using synchronous, so if someone's a brand new user of Solid Edge,
mhm.
is synchronous difficult for them to learn?
No, it's very easy. Most synchronous technology is just kind of what I showed there. It's if you have a design that you want to change, you can just move your steering wheel here, and you can do how you need to. Oh, that's not gonna work. Yeah.
So really, it's a matter of with that synchronous, you can just push and pull on faces.
Yes. Yeah. So like this face here, if we needed to make it shorter or longer, we can use synchronous technology to help us do that quickly and easily.
Okay, great. Well, excellent. Yeah, thanks for showing that, sharing that with us. So the next question that we had, and this is an interesting one because I know over the years, and I'm more of an NX user, but over the years, there's always these little things that are hard to do, like making your text bigger. And I can imagine that whoever had this question, they were probably really frustrated trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So let's have it, Jeff. How do you make your text bigger on prints?
Okay. Sure. So on this one, for example, now the question that we actually had was specifically to the balloons, but I wanted to show also how we can do it on the rest of the drawing. So that's in our styles button here under the home tab. And if we go in and we click on the text, click modify, we can click on the paragraph tab and we can change the font size, which increases our font size for our parts list. And that one's real easy for the parts list, but unfortunately there isn't one for that's real easy for the balloons to change them all at the same time. What we can do though is we can go into the properties and we can change the font size there. Or we can go up to properties up here and we can change the font size there as well. Unfortunately, like I said, there isn't a way to do it quickly and easily for each balloon, but we can.
So the trick is to set your font size ahead of time then, eh?
Yeah, if you can do it ahead of time, then it would be a lot easier.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's one of those questions where it's something simple, but the checker, he won't release the drawing because the text is too small. So
Right.
that's I'm glad that you shared that one with us.
Yeah.
Then we've got one more question. And that is there a quick way to move parts into an assembly?
Yeah. So yeah, on this one here, so we have this bracket that we were playing with earlier, and this is actually part of a sub-assembly for the connector handle. And right now, this male part is disconnected from that sub-assembly. Well, if that's something that we wanted into that sub-assembly, that may be something that you want to easily bring into the assembly that you have. And we can do that really easily by just highlighting on the part and then going up here to the transfer button. And when we click transfer, we get this dialog which shows us the assemblies that we have. And we can go down to this assembly here, which is the female connector handle assembly. Click on that, which you can see highlights that sub-assembly for us. And we can click OK to bring that in, just like that. And now you can see that that part is part of the sub-assembly. In addition to that, you'll also notice that there is a new sub-assembly button where you can click to create a new sub-assembly if you wanted to create a new sub-assembly inside of this assembly file. And it's that easy.
Huh, that's pretty cool. That creating the new sub-assembly, I really like that. I think when I work on projects, I just start modeling away, and then afterwards I'm like, uh-oh, now I need to sort and clean everything up. So that's a great way to show that.
Yeah.
Well, very nice. Thanks for sharing those points with us.
Yeah.
So let me just check our questions, and we don't have any questions at present. That's because you answered a bunch of questions, which is good. We want everybody that's attended our webinar today, mark your calendars, because the second Thursday of each month, we're going to talk about the best of first line support. And just so everyone's aware, it's not just CAD that we're going to cover. The first one was NX. This one is Solid Edge. We're also going to cover Team Center, licensing, a whole bunch of different things. So mark your calendars. We'd like to thank everyone today for your time and for your attention. You'll notice we have an email address, sales@goplm.com, and also a little QR code that you can scan. And that way you'll know about our upcoming webinars that we're going to have. So thank everyone. We're going to thank you all for your time and attention. Jeff, thank you. Great job on the webinar.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, everybody, have a great day and be safe.